The all-new Toyota RAV4 asks, what if? What if your ride was refined and rugged at the same time? Introducing the all-new RAV4 Hybrid. 208 combined horsepower and standard all-wheel drive make it the most powerful RAV4. Plus, with its head-turning style and breakaway speed, it's bound to change the way you think of a hybrid. The all-new RAV4 Hybrid. Toyota. Let's go places. Horsepower. Ratings achieved using the required premium unleaded gasoline with an octane rating of 91 or higher. Premium fuel is not used. Performance will decrease.
At Farmers Insurance, we know every windshield collision has a unique sound. Beetle. Bird poop. Drone. Seen it, covered it. Click for more.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
We're going to try this again.
Hello?
Melissa, I am so sorry about the first time.
Oh, you're fine.
Okay. I think we're over it. We're going to go from the beginning. This is Jim the Keys bartender. We just went through our little promo here, and I'm talking to Melissa Devine of Concord, New Hampshire. And you work at Cheers in Concord, New Hampshire, right? And you were going to say, what's the saying is about Cheers?
Where everybody knows your name.
Okay.
I hear that a million times a shift.
You do? Is it a chain?
Yeah. No, the original Cheers is in Boston in Faneuil Hall, and then we have another Cheers in Concord. Same menu, but different ownership.
Oh, okay. And how long have you been there?
I actually just went back. I was working at Buffalo Wild Wings for 5 years, and then I just recently left Buffalo Wild Wings. I kind of got sick of the corporate world where every plate has 2 carrots and 3 celeries and 6 ounces of like I just got a little fed up with that. So I just came back to Cheers maybe about 6 months ago. But before I worked at Buffalo Wild Wings.
They practiced that policy. There was a book that came out like 20 years ago. Just give them the pickle. You ever hear of it?
Yeah. No, I haven't, but
okay, no. Well, we just give them the pickle, meaning when someone asks for a pickle, it's not what you think, but it's just like when someone asks for a pickle, just give them the damn pickle. You know.
Yeah. No, I understand that saying. Corporate restaurants are always so stuck to their ways, and like I said, they're 2 carrots, 3 celery.
Oh, really? And it's arranged in a certain way?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? Who knows? You know, someday we could get something from Buffalo Wild Wings, but that isn't now. And the reason I contacted, and another funny thing that happened, is that I put out a call to bartenders. It was a combination. Bartenders and people from the Florida Keys, because we are the Keys bartender, but I'm also a bartender. And I ask you where you might have gotten the post from, and you mentioned a group, and one group I think I'm sure that we were on is Bartenders United.
Yep.
And the other one was called
Just the Tip.
Just the Tip. I like that one. I didn't want to be the one to say that. And but I said much worse before, so that's nothing.
I'll gladly be the person that says it.
Okay, no, I'm just the tip. And where are you originally from? Are you from New Hampshire?
I am. Yep.
Okay, so
yep,
you're.
I'm from New Hampshire. I've lived in Concord, Concord and like the couple surrounding little towns. But to anyone who doesn't know, Concord. I'm sure you've never heard of Pennacook or Boscawen or Andover.
Well, I think I read a lot of Stephen King novels, so most of when there's a serial killer, he comes from New Hampshire.
Yeah,
right?
I guess that says we're pretty crazy.
No, not at all. Not no more. I'm originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, so I know you're probably a Patriots fan, so I apologize for that. Not too hard. So how'd you get into bartending, Melissa?
I started working in the restaurant industry when I was 17 or 18. I started out hosting, where I was that young teenage girl that everyone hated. I think that goes for most restaurants.
What do you mean? What do you mean everyone
And then
hated?
I worked my way from. Well, I just feel like there's always a lot of like animosity between the servers and the hosts, between the seating and not getting skipped in rotation, and so that was my introduction to the restaurant world.
Oh, really?
And then after that, once I turned 18, I was old enough to serve alcohol, so I started waitressing, and then that led to bartending.
Okay, and we were talking earlier that you have been on your own since you were 18, right? You moved out of the house when you were 18 or something, and you went to college, and you took you went to college, and you got 4 degrees. What are those degrees?
I do. I have early education, human services, addiction counseling, and psychology. So I like people.
They do sound like they go hand in hand. You know?
Yeah.
What's this? I'm recording. My friend's asking. He thought I was playing live. My friend was here. So they do sound like. And you were working while you were going to school, and you finished those degrees in 3 years, right?
Yep. At just the local community college.
And you went to. You told me that you were fed this idea that I had to go to college and you have to do this after high school, and I do take notes, if you noticed.
I did notice that.
Yes, and you came out and you looked for jobs, and you discovered what?
After I graduated high school, the rule was either you work full time. In my household, the rule was you go to school and work part time, or you work full time and pay rent. So I went to school and I worked part time, and that's when I got my first waitressing job at Ruby Tuesdays in Concord as a host.
Oh yeah, Ruby Tuesdays. Yep, that's some. I mean, if you're in the United States, I think everyone's been to a Ruby Tuesday. So you were serving, and how'd you? So you got out of school. You started looking for a job after you were already bartending, right?
No, that was when I first got into the restaurants. So I started out hosting, and then I waitressed, and then I bartended.
No, but were you bartending while you were in college, like finishing?
Oh yeah. While I was in college, yeah.
So you got used to the money. You were working Cheers originally, and then you went to Buffalo Wild Wings because you're 26 years old. So I imagine that you must have been finishing up school when you were at Cheers, or when you made your transition.
The first time, yeah.
And
correct.
And so yeah, I'm really good with math. So
you take notes, and you're good at math.
Yes. And what made you? So you're serving. How'd you make your transition into bartending?
A girl that I was friends with was bartending, and I kind of like watched her do her thing, and I liked the aspect of kind of having your own area, you're not relying on a bunch of different people. And so I kind of asked if I could bartend, and they kind of send me through the runaround a couple times.
Yeah.
And then I started bartending my first time bartending was at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Okay. And you've never called yourself a barmaid, have you?
No, I've bar backed before.
Well, that's bar back.
But I've never called it a bar. I've never called it a barmaid before.
And we did, and for the listeners, we made the discussion, I believe, and as it sounded like you did, that bartend is a non-gender specific, so it works for everyone, just like doctor, pilot, lawyer. You don't have I don't understand why you'd put a gender on a profession that doesn't really require it, unless you're looking for. Actually, there's only very few specific things that need to be gender specific, but in bartending is not one of them. So you went through all these years of college, and then you went out looking for a job, and you discovered that, I guess your expectations were you're going to go to college, you're going to get a degree, and you're going to be able to earn a great living.
Correct. And I was going to work a 9 to 5 and do that
was
whole
going to be
thing.
awesome, right? What were your dreams? Like you were going to work 9 to 5, have a weekend off,
have a big house with a little picket fence around it,
Yeah. Throw a ball with the dog.
Yeah.
A little swing in the back. No swing? Okay, that's all right.
We'll trade the swing for a hammock until I decide when I'm ready for kids. But until then, we'll stick with a hammock.
Who says the swing's for a kid?
I guess that is true. We could get rowdy
what
and have
are you talking about, Melissa? An adult can have a great time on a swing. And the money wasn't there. You told me that money wasn't there for those jobs.
Yeah, I found once I was graduating college, I had worked a couple internships and I had been offered a couple positions, but I mean the starting pay was only like $12, $13 an hour, and I think I was like 20, 21, being that age, living on my own, starting to have to pay my student loans back because I wasn't in school anymore. Mm-hmm. I just couldn't make that money unless I wanted to work like 3 jobs.
Yeah. So
I found out.
Keep on going.
I found out what I could make waitressing and bartending. So I kind of went that route.
Well, what's your view on the position now? Like, what do you think about bartending?
I mean, right now, honestly, I feel like I use my degrees. I mean, maybe not the early education that much, but all my other degrees, people come to the bar and they're looking for someone that they can talk to and someone that is actually going to have a little bit of personality, which I've been told have a lot of personality.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah.
You were told you have a lot of personality. Okay. Well, I mean, you took a lot of psychology too, right?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
What people have a lot of personality, though, if you were going to use the physician's desk manual?
What was that?
No, people like psychotic people have a lot of personality too. They got a lot of different ones.
Well, I guess I would qualify for that. I'm a little crazy.
I'm not saying that you do. So that early childhood, I would, later on today, I'm doing my regular show with my co-host Jenna Kelly, and we're going to be talking about baby consciousness a little, because I was thinking about that, like when a baby's born, are they have the pre-wired thought process, or are they coming out a blank slate and they're real quick learners, and things like that. But when the person gets, and I'm not saying you serve them, when a person gets really fucked up, it's like you're talking to a baby again. Right?
Yeah.
You're talking to a child and you're like telling them, and they're angry, like, give me my bottle, give me my rattle. The bottle is actually a real bottle at this point, But I would say that everything that you've learned is, all your degrees are applicable to bartending right now. But I wanted to ask some questions that are pointed right now. How hard is it you're a very attractive young lady. How hard is it for you to be nice to someone and not have them think that it's something more? Like, how we're all supposed to be nice? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you my experience. I'm going to tell you my experience. When I'm very polite to women and stuff like that. Now I'm 55 years old. I don't have that problem with younger women anymore, because now I just seem like a really great uncle when I'm talking to them. And, I'm not creepy and stuff. But if I'm talking to someone within 10, 12, 13 years, I got to hedge it. And there's got to be things where you tell them, like, we're here, we're in this environment. This is where it is. It all takes place you're on this side of the bar, I'm on this side of the bar. And it's not going to go much further than this. So, or any further. Do you have any difficulties with that?
Dealing with the creepers.
Well, the creepers are going to come up. This is just like with people thinking. I want to ask you about any stalky guys or girls. I mean, it happens with girls too. I'm in Key Largo. There's a heavy. We have a heavy population of, and they're not heavy women. I'm saying, but of alternate lifestyle, and they may think that of them. Not so many guys. I imagine Key West that would be something, but it changes when you get older. But as a younger person, I remember I did bartending young. I remember girls getting offended when you were like saying, "Oh, see, have a great night." And like, what? It's over? I mean,
No,
I
I
imagine
don't get
strippers
offended.
have to have it much worse than them. Strippers have to have it.
I hope they do. Huh?
Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying, though? So
I
you're
don't-
nice to someone.
Yeah,
you say hi to them. You're sweet. If you're uncomfortable with the question, we don't have to ask that.
Oh no, not at all. I basically I kind of play it how it is. I mean, if once they start to say like once they start to be a little weird or start to like kind of cross that line, I usually just kind of make a joke out of it, kind of check them, keep them in place, and then I mean if they continue, I just kind of like move on to the next one and just make sure they have that full drink and there's nothing really that they can like venture out towards.
Okay. Well, now to go deeper, when you have that stalky guy, the creeper or girl, I mean, I'm sure.
When you say that, one story really sticks out in my mind.
Okay.
One time when I was bartending, it was right about close. I was at Buffalo Wild Wings at the time, and there was this really weird man that just came in like probably 5-10 minutes before close, sat down at the bar, and like he was kind of weird. Just his demeanor was weird. I could tell something was up, but I was like, whatever, maybe he's just a weird guy. And so I was kind of like watching his body language and stuff. And I remember he ordered a tall magic hat, number 9. So I gave him his beer and I sat it down in front of him, and he picks up the beer and stares me right in the eyes and chugs the whole beer while not leaving eyesight.
Oh, really?
And I was like, okay, I'm like, okay, this guy's a little weird. So then he slams his beer down, he burps, and all of the foam starts coming out of his nose, out of his mouth. Like, he was just a mess. So I took the beer. I was like, all right, you're done. Like, pay your tab, don't pay your tab, just get out of here. And he had ordered food. It was traditional Tuesday, so the wings are half off. So I gave him his food, and he opens it, and he says, how am I supposed to eat these? There's bones in them. I'm like, I don't really care how you eat them. Just get out of my bar. Long story short, he got his takeout. He got out. He didn't pay his tab. He got into the parking lot. At this point, I had gotten my manager, and he got into the parking lot, went to go take off in his automatic car, but was stuck in neutral in his automatic. So then we were like, okay. Cops ended up coming, and it was just a weird scenario.
Really?
The guy was weird. Yeah, they were pulling everything. I mean, it looked like he had a clown car in his pockets. He had so much stuff in his pockets. Yeah, he's just.
It does sound like a
Stephen King. He was a weird dude.
It sounds like a Stephen King. Was that Pennywise, the clown? Did you ever see it?
It might have been. It was right around the time that movie, the new one came out.
He drank the beer without blinking, staring at you the whole time, and then all the foam shooting out.
And then foamed it up all through his nose and everything. I'm like, okay, this is weird.
Wow, I like that.
Just last night, I had someone ask me. This is him. I think this was his pickup line. It was definitely a first. He said, "Hey, girl, have you ever been roofied?" Like,
wow, that's a good one. You ever been roofied?
I was like,
Bill Cosby.
No, creepy.
Bill Cosby.
Creepy man, please get away from me.
Yeah. You ever been roofied? Oh man.
If you use that, let me know how it works for you. I mean, it doesn't work good in New Hampshire, but
I'm married. I can't say that stuff. It's like, have you ever seen the a dungeon before.
Yeah, it's probably right around those lines.
There you go. Have you ever been caught locked in a shed? Because we're in the Keys, so it's all coral. It's all
You're like,
coral.
hey, girl, ever been in a shed for 6 months?
Yeah. We don't have a lot of land, so a lot of that stuff doesn't happen down here. We don't have wide open spaces, and the people are kind of right on top of each other here. So if you want to be a creeper / kidnapper or something like that, you got to go to the mainland where it's got more wide open spaces. Here,
well, if I ever go to Florida, I'll stay away from the mainland.
There's a lot of weirdos in Florida. I'm telling you, there's just multitudes more. Besides the size of the population, the craziest ones. There's crazy ones in the Keys, but the shadier ones are on the mainland because they can't blend in as well down here. We only get a certain type of weirdo down here, but we get a lot of them. Okay.
They're all relatively the same amount of weird, but there's a lot.
Yes, there's just tons of them. But I mean, we talk about it in our podcast. I mean, I had a guy come in, and people who are regular listeners, a woman came in. She had her dentures stolen by this man, and he was holding them hostage for $500. And that's a real thing that occurred. Yeah. Yes.
Well, what was he doing with them? Just had them in his pocket?
$500. It was the boyfriend of him, and they were, he thought, I'll just take your dentures and you give me $500 so I can buy my drugs.
That sounds really romantic. If you see him again, let me know his number.
He lives in Homestead, so if you come down, I don't know. I don't think it would be an appropriate person. I'm like I said, I'm more of an uncle. I would never. When someone's bothering a young lady, I'm going like, you got to leave that girl alone. Come on.
I've definitely had other guests. I've had other guests like check other people, and like once people start getting a little creepy, I've had like my regulars speak up for me. Or, I mean, I'm definitely the type of girl that holds her own though. Like I said, like once someone starts to be,
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, once someone starts to be a little creepy, I kind of
have to watch it.
Yeah, that is good. Yeah.
Do you know when you have someone come up to the bar sometimes and they say something that's unintentionally funny, and and sometimes it feels as if they're brought to you just to feed you lines as a straight person in a comedy routine, and they come up and ask you a question. Do you do you just laugh at them? Do you say it to them? I mean, I know what I experienced, but just think about that question they ask you. Like I get the ones, do you have a bathroom? Do you, what's the name of your fish sandwich? And all that. And I have lines. I have several lines I say, and it's just like when they came, and, for the bathroom one for me, and I'll just tell you that to inspire you. I go like this. I knew there was a problem with the design of this building until you enunciated that request. I didn't realize that we neglected to build restrooms.
Yeah, that's kind of the route I take after those questions.
What?
That's the way I go when someone asks those kinds of questions too. I had a guest ask me the other day or a couple months ago, is there meat in your garlic chicken nachos? I said, I don't know. Let me ask the cook. So I marched my butt right back to the kitchen. I said, hey guys, do we have meat in our garlic chicken nachos? And they all looked at me like I had 8 heads.
No, I would, as soon as they say it, I can assure you it's a vegetarian chicken.
I marched right back to the table and I was like, I just checked with the kitchen. We do have meat. We have chicken in our garlic chicken nachos, but we do have a vegetarian option. I just go along with it and hopefully they catch it. If they don't, maybe it's not their time.
I like pretzels, but I don't like salt. That's what I get sometimes,
Yeah. Can you wipe all the salt off my pretzels? I'm like, sure. I'd love to.
How about when it comes to drink orders? Let me go. Can you make me a vodka martini, but not too strong?
Yeah. My martini is a little strong.
Yes.
Or my favorite, one of the girls I work with the other day sent back a lemon drop martini because she wanted to add more alcohol in it. I was like, I'm sorry.
It's almost
I'm
all
confused
alcohol.
on what more you want me to put in here.
Listen, do you make a good margarita?
I mean, I like margaritas without the sour mix. I'll use fresh squeezed lime juice.
I do that
and maybe
too,
a
but
little
I mean, when
soda
someone
water.
asks that, someone asks me, do I make a good one? It's like asking, do you make a good pizza? Do you, everyone likes a different pizza. Like, if you ask me,
Well, that's
if you want,
usually when I'm like, how
can
do
you
you
make a
like
good
your
vodka
margarita?
tonic? How do you want your vodka tonic? Do you want like a splash of
Yeah.
tonic? Do you want a splash of tonic, or do you like orange juice in with it? That I don't know. Is there something about it that makes, well, this person makes it this way? And I said, well, just you know what? Or you can just, instead of me guessing what you're gonna like, why don't you tell me? Like, are we gonna get along? Well, I don't know. What are you like? Are you a killer? Because I don't get
Are you
along
going to
with
be
killers.
weird all night, or
Yeah.
do we have to
Are you going to drink a
just-
beer and stare at me while you're staring with the eyes wide open and foam coming out of your mouth? Yeah.
I like when
I did
we
have an
have.
older man named Jerry come up to me. This guy came up. He was 90 years old. He goes like, he looked at me, and I don't know. I'm 55. I'm over all that macho stuff, but I'm a fitness instructor, and I'm about 6'4", 245 pounds. And he came up to me and he goes, "Are we going to have a hard time?" He said that like there was a choice. Like I was going to go. Now I'm very healthy, and I go to the man and I go, unless you do something very strange, I don't think there should be anything unusual that goes on. But I don't know if he thought we were a perfect match because this guy was 93 years old. Now we drastically our fitness levels really drop off. Mine is dropping off every year. So I imagine by the time 93, I'm not going to be approaching anybody 40 years younger than me and telling you, hey, do I need to come and kick your ass? Yeah, it was interesting. And that was a question I got from the guy. And I go, yeah, I don't know if we're going to have a problem. Are you going to go through an empathy? I don't make a fun of dementia, but are you going to confuse me with Joseph Stalin? Are you going to think I'm Joseph Stalin and then start freaking out? No, I don't know. So
freaking out.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to. What I try to do is draw things out of people. Like you as a bartender, you're at your place of work, right? It's slow night. It's a very slow night. You're with people you like. You're people at Cheers. Let's say you're people at Cheers. Are you tight with them, or do you go into work and just work and leave?
Yeah. No, I think we're very close.
Do you have
Cheers has a
games or
smaller.
anything you do?
Usually I try to swindle the cooks for food.
How do you do that?
Take a couple laps. Swindle the cooks.
Yeah,
I don't know. I make them feel uncomfortable, or I make them blush, and then they toss me a mozzarella stick or some fries.
Do you feign low blood sugar or something like that? Like do a Scarlett O'Hara?
No, I'm just the hungriest girl you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
No, they all make fun of me because I'm literally always eating. I always have snacks hidden around the restaurant. I'm like 5'1" on a good day and like 110 pounds. But I'm telling you right now, my apron is stuffed with snacks. I got gummies hidden in the 20s. I've got pretzels hidden over in the 40s.
What kind of state is New Hampshire?
What do you mean by that?
Gummies?
Oh, no, it depends the kind of day I'm having. I definitely have a batch of special gummies on deck at all times. Let's be honest. We work in the industry.
Someday we're going to have that down here. You are truly in the promised land. A little cold up there, but that's fabulous. I'm going to give you an idea, and you may not like it, but what I do is I write up a bunch of cards for people. And if it's a slow night, I say every time they come up and order, they pull a card, right? And they have to order a drink in the style of. right? I put in a Jamaican,
Okay.
a professional wrestler. I put a pantomime artist, one of these guys like Marcel Marceau, the guys that have the white face and they kind of act out the things, or a British aristocrat.
That's
And I have to
awesome.
guess. I know. And I put it in every time I go an astronaut, do an astronaut, order a drink like an astronaut would, or, a World War II pilot, you know, or a geisha girl, a very, honorable Jim, and will you please make me a gin and tonic, something like that. That passes the time of day. Or guessing the next person that comes in, and the next person comes in, you have to say the right thing to them. You have to
That's
you have
pretty
to
cool.
yeah. The next one I do, people say, is this the right? Someone came in and they said, am I coming in the right entrance? I said, what level did you want to be on? And they go, really? A level? I said, yes. Now, you haven't been to the Keys. Very few buildings have 2 floors.
No, I haven't.
Very few floors.
Oh, really?
Yeah, none have basements because it's rock, like 3-4 inches down. No, none have.
Huh.
So I say to them like that, and so there's all good things to do. I mean, the best thing that ever happened to me, and I'll say this, I repeated this twice before. We were every season we shut down for a month and cleaned out at this one place I worked. And we had the whole restaurant torn apart. We had chairs on top of tables. We were filthy. We were cleaning the ceiling. We had the bottles pulled up and all this stuff. And I'm walking through, and everyone's in regular clothes. They look like hobos or homeless people in there. And this a foreign couple walks in, and they go, "Are you serving lunch?" And I go, "Table for 2?" And they just looked at me, and I just point over to we had like a mess of tables over there. Is that all right for you? And they just looked at us, and they stood there for a couple minutes. And I said, I'm sorry, we're cleaning up. It took them a while to process that. I thought it was maybe they came out of the desert and they were sun blinded or something like that. But this is what you get, I guess. And, yeah. You are a funny girl, Melissa. You know that?
I guess kind of going back to the, what was that?
What?
Did what? What did you say?
I said, you are a funny girl, I said.
Thank you. I've been told.
So.
Going back to the funny question things, sometimes when people ask where the bathroom is, I like to point them in the wrong direction, point them to the kitchen. So then they walk into the kitchen and get real confused.
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, imagine if you get someone that's too drunk, they're going to be peeing in your dish.
And then you smile and. That's quite. You'd probably have to find a stool and climb up there. So if they have that much ambition, I think I might let them.
I had a guy come in, and he sat down on the stool, and he fell off the stool. He sat down and fell. As soon as he.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I said to him, I go, oh man, I'm not going to have to. I said, I'm not going to be able to serve you. And he goes, not again. And I go, what? Yeah, the last 2 places wouldn't serve me. I said, you made it to 2 different, and this guy was walking. I said, you made it to 2 different places? Still trying to get, boy, this guy was ambitious. But how do you cut someone off? How do you cut someone off when you have someone?
I've done it a couple different ways. Sometimes, if someone gets really aggressive, if they're really drunk and get really aggressive with me, I usually work with another person. I don't know how your bar works, but there's usually there's usually 2 people that work. And so I'll usually grab the other bartender. I'll tell them no, I'll tell them they're shut off, and then they'll try to get something from the other one, and I'll just have them repeat exactly what I said. Mm-hmm. Sometimes if they try to order another drink, I'll just put a water in front of them. That's
a smart.
It's very straightforward.
Yeah. I'm usually by myself, and I go and say, listen, I'm concerned about your well-being, and I do that. And I enlist the people. I make sure the people around me know that. But if it's a group of people and they're all like that, they just kind of get up and leave. I got people coming in sometimes because we're the Keys, and they think, we're in the Keys. You can get they were in New Orleans. or Las Vegas. Yeah, that's the right of theirs to be intoxicated as soon as they come in. And what are you going to do, right?
Yeah, just gonna smile and put that water in front of them.
Okay.
Or sometimes if I'm feeling real witty, they'll order a drink from me, and then I'll list off a bunch of irrational things I can't have,
Mhm.
and then I'll be like, but let's talk about something we can have. Like, like I said, I always turn things kind of back into, like, I just kind of turn it into a joke, and then hopefully they just catch on that I'm just being a smart ass, and the answer is no matter how many times you ask me.
No, there's sometimes you can't turn off the anger with these people.
No.
Yeah. And Melissa, I think this has been great. We've 35 minutes, and it went by like nothing. I want to thank you for being on the podcast, and I'd like to have you on again. That you were excited about it. I was excited about it.
I was so excited.
Yeah.
I've never done anything like this before, so I was really excited.
Oh, great. Do you want to listen? I'll post a picture if you send it to Jim McKee's Bartender. Something you want posted. I'll make it a title and size and all that. So I won't lift it from your Facebook page or anything like that. That's creepy.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless you point to one on Facebook that you want, and I could do if you don't.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you want to send a shout out to anybody?
I'll send shout out to all my fellow bartenders in Concord. My cat Nugs. She's the real OG. She's been with me.
Oh, wow, that's cool. What's the name, Nubs?
Nugs. Nugz. The Z is because she's cool.
Nugs. Okay, that is cool. Okay. I'm glad your cat listens to podcasting. That's the next demographic we want to break into.
Yeah, she listens to podcasts, and her name is Nugs because guess what she eats? Nugs.
Nugs? I got it. I think I got it. Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Melissa. I'm going to be signing off. This is Jim the Keys Bartender. Thank you, Melissa Devine from Cheers in Concord, New Hampshire. Thank you, Melissa.
All right. Thank you, Jim.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Farmers Insurance, we know every windshield collision has a unique sound. Beetle. Bird poop. Drone. Seen it, covered it. Click for more.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
And now, a great moment in furniture history. One summer in the early 90s, the Bob behind Bob's Discount Furniture did something that would send shockwaves throughout the furniture business. He eliminated haggling and ended the unfair and insidious practice of artificially jacking up prices only to throw a phony sale. What remains unanswered is why he would end such a lucrative scheme.
It was the right thing to do.
It was the right thing to do. This has been another great moment in furniture history. Watch furniture history unfold at mybobs.com.